wanakaa watafunga. Manchester City. Manchester City are looking good, are looking to score the next goal in this game. So keep a keen eye on that. So Manchester City with the lion's share of possession earlier on in the game, 13 minutes in. Things looking good for Manchester City. Let me know what you think. Who do you think wins, Manchester City or Real Madrid? Manchester City currently with the lion's share of possession, so Manchester City on the attack with Ryan Shawky. Manchester City are looking to score their first goal in this tie. Doku almost gets Haaland through, so this is a really incredible game at the moment. City with the lion's share. Remember, the likes of Kylian Mbappe are not there for Real Madrid because of injuries. Likes of Camavinga not there, so expect Manchester City to score the first goal in this game. Real Madrid are constantly defending in this game, so this means that Manchester City are here for business. It looks like Real Madrid currently cannot get out of their own half because of the pressing intensity of Manchester City. They're just passing the ball around in their own box. And as you are here, don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is free. Vinicius Jr. on the attack. Almost scores. Vinicius Jr. almost scores. Comes off the post. Comes off the post. But offside. Offside. User hi. How are you? How are you doing? Vinicius Jr. was offside in the build-up. do that. Like, he rattled the bar. User, hi, how are you doing? Where are you watching from? And which team do you support? Or rather, which team do you think will win this game? So everything was offside. Vinicius Jr. was offside, so everything that happened from there was irrelevant because Real Madrid were looking for a penalty, possibly on Bernardo Silva, who tried to clear the ball with his arm as the ball was going in. I don't know what they are still checking, but they are still checking for something. So they are checking a potential penalty. That is what is being confirmed for Bernardo Silva's attempt to clear the ball with his hand. So the referee has been called to the monitor to look at this. So Manchester City could be possibly 4-0 down if this penalty is given. I think that is going to be given. Yeah, penalty to Real Madrid and red card to Bernardo Silva. So Manchester City are down to 10 men and Real Madrid have been awarded a penalty. It goes from bad to worse for Manchester City. This means they're definitely out. So Bernardo Silva red card for trying to clear the ball with his arm in the penalty box, and Real Madrid get a penalty. What is Pep Guardiola going to do about this? Vinicius Jr. steps up. Manchester City looks stunned at the moment. Let's see if Donnarumma can save this. Manchester City fans are biting their fingernails. Vinicius Jr. scores 4-0 to Real Madrid on aggregate. So it's 4-0 to Real Madrid on aggregate. There is no coming back from this, especially when there are 10 men on that pitch for Manchester City. Real Madrid 1, Man City 0, 4-0 on aggregate in favor of Real Madrid at the Etihad Stadium. Bernardo, if you're just joining us, Bernardo Silva gets a red card. Manchester City almost score. Thibaut Courtois, good save. Vinicius Jr. skies it. Could have scored the game decider right there. Game just got interesting. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Yellow card to Pep Guardiola. So Real Madrid currently 4-0 up on aggregate against Manchester City, who are 1 man down. So there are 10 men on that pitch. Bernardo Silva red card. That is just 24 minutes in. So it's going to be a long night for Manchester City. Looks like Real Madrid are going to score again. Good tackle from Kusanov. Manchester City on the attack through Reinders. Jeremy Doku. Good tackle from Adegula. Doku, Haaland. Good save. Rodri almost scores. It looks like Manchester City have woken up after Bernardo Silva was sent off. They are threatening that Real Madrid goal. Stunning saves from Thibaut Courtois. That is the third save, I think, since Bernardo Silva went off. It doesn't look like it's 10 against 11 men. Jeremy Doku. Vini Jr. Chomeni to Adegula. One-on-one with Kusanov. Vini Jr. puts it wide, almost scores his second for the night. Good pass from Adagula to Vinny Jr. Good pass. Jeremy Doku. Ryan Cherky. Ryan Cherky. Matheus Nunes. Cherky. Ruben Dias. Reinders. Jeremy Doku against Trent Alexander-Arnold and Valverde. Reinders. Rodri. Real Madrid look like they were the ones who were 10 men on the pitch. Ryan H. Nouri. Corner, Manchester City. Manchester City are really working hard here. They look like they don't have a man down. They are not a man down. Remember, Bernardo Silva got a red card for trying to clear the ball with his hand. So Manchester City are with 10 men on that pitch. Now Real Madrid look like they are the ones with 10 men on that pitch. Like, it's just incredible how Manchester City are playing regardless of having a red card. So it's really incredible. It's more and more intriguing to watch. Don't worry, I'm just getting better at this. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Real Madrid 1, Manchester City 0 for the night. 4-1 on aggregates to Real Madrid. Manchester City with 10 men, Real Madrid with 11. Bernardo Silva red card for trying to clear the ball with his hand in the penalty box. Real Madrid scored through a penalty, by the way. The first goal of the night. Real Madrid, Manchester City have a lot of work to do. Coming back from a 4-0 deficit is going to be hard, especially when they are a man down. So you can understand that. Let me know if you think Manchester City can come back from this. Let me know in the comments. Pep Guardiola looks defeated, just sipping a bottle of water, as they say it. Bottle of water. Manchester City are really, really working hard here. It's like, it's interesting to watch. Pep Guardiola set them in a way that even if they are a man down, you cannot know that they are a man down. Like, it's just really incredible to see. And we know Pep Guardiola is a seasoned manager, so you can understand that. So PSG are currently 2-0 up at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea. So Chelsea are officially out of the Champions League. There's nothing we can do about it. How do you come back from that? That is 8-2 on aggregate. You cannot tell me you can score 6 goals. No, you can't score. Even if you are Chelsea, you cannot score 6 goals against that PSG side. So Chelsea are out of the Champions League. PSG currently leading by 2 goals at Stamford Bridge. Manchester City are 1-0 down in the night, 4-0 down on aggregate against Real Madrid with a man down. So they could potentially be out of the Champions League, but in football you can never rule anything out. But that one for Chelsea, you cannot score 6 goals against PSG. That is just not possible. So Chelsea is out. Manchester City fans look just defeated. You cannot just leave the stadium. It's just 34 minutes in, you're 1-0 down, 4-0 down on aggregates with a man down. Like, even if you're defeated, you cannot leave the stadium because you paid money to watch the game. So even if it's painful to watch, you should just endure it and watch it. Anyways, guys, don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more like this. Subscribe, guys. Subscribing is free. Real Madrid fans currently cheering every pass that Real Madrid make. Do you think Real Madrid can run away with it? Remember, the winner of this game faces Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich are just unstoppable at the moment. So it's really going to be interesting to see Real Madrid against Bayern. But I think Bayern will get the edge on Real Madrid if they go through. So let's just wait and see. Currently, Bayern Munich are favorites to win the whole thing. Bayern Munich are favorites to win the whole thing. And if Real Madrid moves on, they will have to face that Bayern Munich side. You have the likes of Olise, Harry Kane, Luis Diaz, Jamal Musiala, Joshua Kimmich. Like, almost score. Manchester City almost score, by the way, as I was talking. Jeremy Doku, through Jeremy Doku. Totally schooled Trent Alexander-Arnold. That is the matchup I was waiting to see. Trent against Jeremy Doku. Trent can defend one-on-one situations, and Doku is an explosive winger, trickster. So it is really, really hard to keep up with him. We saw how Trent struggled against him in the Premier League whenever we played Manchester City. So you can understand why I'm keen on that. But Manchester City have had the most attempts with 9 total attempts with 4 on target. Real Madrid have had 7 total attempts with 3 on target. So Manchester City are still strong. They're willing to finish this game strong, even if they will be out of the Champions League. So you can't rule them out from scoring a goal or two in this game. Or you might see that comeback. So it's really hard to say. Guys, subscribe to the channel. Subscribing is free. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to the channel. Good turn from Brahim Diaz. Almost scores. Almost scores. Donnarumma is putting up a horror show right here. I don't know what he's doing. Like, how do you get that past you? But anyways, it's not a goal, but Donnarumma is putting in a horror show here. Real Madrid almost score a second goal of the night. What do you guys think? Do you think Manchester City can come back from this being one man down and also being 4-0 down? Can you think Manchester? Do you think Manchester City can come back from this? We already know Chelsea are out of the Champions League because PSG are currently winning. I don't know how the Arsenal game is going on right now, but I think Arsenal can proceed through, but not not underrating that Bayer Leverkusen because I saw how they played last time against Arsenal, so it's still going to be incredible. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know. So potentially, I have a theory, potentially, if even if Manchester City are out of the Champions League, Chelsea are out of the Champions League. So if potentially Arsenal, Manchester City, Manchester United, and Chelsea finish in the top four, and Liverpool end up winning the Champions League, and also Aston Villa end up winning the Europa League. So those are 6 teams. So the additional spot, there's also an additional spot that is the seventh. So there's potentially 7 teams. There's a potential that 7 teams might be in the Champions League next season. So English teams dominating all through and through in Europe. Shaki on the move, gliding through players there, the Real Madrid players. Chomeni pushing forward, good defending from Kusanov. Let me know in the comments, do you think we could see 7 teams in the Champions League next season? Let me know. Do you think Aston Villa are capable of winning the Europa League? Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Jeremy Doku. City win a corner. City win a corner. Arsenal score against Bayer Leverkusen. So PSG are currently 2-0 up against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. City score through Haaland. City have scored. City have just scored through Erling Haaland. So it's 4-1. There's still hope for Manchester City to come back from this. I told you, football, there's something with football. So, and again, I told you that matchup between Trent Alexander-Arnold and Doku. So Doku glides through Trent Alexander-Arnold to give the pass to Erling Haaland, and Haaland finishes off the chance. So I told you that Trent Alexander-Arnold and Doku one-on-one situation is going to be key in this game. So no offense to Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's good at the other things, but one-on-one, not so good. So Manchester City score. They need now to score 3 goals to take this game to extra time. It's currently the first half, 41 minutes in. Real Madrid on the attack through Adagula. Federico Valverde. Good defending from Ryan H-Nouri. Trent wide. So there is still hope for Manchester City. to win this game. I still hope for Manchester City in this game. Even though they are 10 men down, they are still fighting for this. That is the spirit. That's why we love football. If you don't like football, I don't know what you're doing. Guys, don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribing is free. Manchester City won, Real Madrid won, 4-1 on aggregate. So City need to score the next 3 goals to level this game and take it to extra time. This is going to be hard, but Manchester City look like a team that, Pep Guardiola is a serial winner. So you could look at this and see that Manchester City are out of the Champions League, but football is a very funny sport. You can look at this is done for Manchester City, but they can come a different animal in the second half and put 3 past Real Madrid, totally outplay them. So football is just football. That's why you don't leave the stands even though your team is so much down. So anything can happen in football. Even a miracle for Manchester City can happen. As Pep Guardiola said in his press conference, the boys are going to give them their all. So that's what I'm currently seeing here. It looks like Manchester City have the most shots, or rather attempts, than Real Madrid, and Manchester City have a man down. Remember that, keep that in the back of your mind. Manchester City are a man down. Real Madrid are playing with 11. I know it's hard to play against 10, but you have a man advantage. Erling Haaland, Ait Nouri, pushing forward. Jeremy Doku, yes, Jeremy Doku against Valverde. Back to Ruben Diaz. Good. Haaland gets the ball. Real Madrid on the attack. Brahim Diaz. Adagula. Good defending from Tijani Reinders. Good defending. That was a potential goal for Real Madrid. Tijani Reinders is currently everywhere on that pitch. He's in attack, he's in defense, like absolutely incredible player. Manchester City are the most threatening team at the moment, so 3 minutes added on in the first half. 3 minutes added on. 1 down, 2 to go. Manchester City need to score 3 goals. You saw it with Sporting, nothing is impossible. They scored 3 goals after being 3-0 down. I don't know how that game went, but we're still looking. Let me see how that game went. Let me just look at to see how that game went. Let me see. I will confirm to you the score. I will confirm it to you guys. Let me check and see how the Sporting game went are out of the Champions League. Sporting managed to score 5 goals past them, so Bodo and Glimt are out. Bodo and Glimt out of the Champions League. Sporting 5, Bodo and Glimt nil on the night. So Sporting go through to potentially face Arsenal or Bayer Leverkusen in the next round of the Champions League. So Bodo and Glimt are out. Sporting continue on to the quarterfinals. For the first time in their career, Sporting are in the quarterfinals. Since the 80s, that by the way, since the 80s, the last time Sporting was in the quarterfinals of a Champions League game was back in the 80s. So history written for Sporting. And also, Bodo and Glimt had a great run in the Champions League, beating the likes of Inter Milan, Manchester City, and the likes of Atalanta. So the likes of Juve, not Atalanta, Juventus. They beat Juventus. So it's pretty incredible what they did in the Champions League for a Norwegian side. So you can see what I'm trying to say. Halftime at the Etihad Stadium. Halftime in the Etihad Stadium. Halftime. Halftime at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City won, Real Madrid won. That is 4-1 on aggregate in favor of Real Madrid. What do you guys think about the first half? I thought Manchester City played really well in that first half game. So PSG are currently leading 2-0 at Stamford Bridge. Goal scored by Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskhelia scores yet again. That is after a mistake from Trevor Chalobah. That's how Kvicha scored. Trevor Chalobah mistake. No, it's not Trevor Chalobah, it's Sarr. Mamadou Sarr mistake, letting Kvicha Kvaratskhelia score the goal. Robert Sanchez could do nothing about that. That is what you call remember, Chelsea have been given a 2-year transfer ban, so they are stuck with that team that they have at the moment. They can't sell, they can't buy. So even the academy. Golasso goal from Bradley Barcola. Incredible. That was absolutely incredible from Bradley Barcola. What a goal. Like, that was absolutely amazing. Now, this is what you get when you don't have the experience of winning in your squad. Chelsea are basically kids playing, to be honest. It's basically kids in that team. There is no experience in that team. And this is what you get, humiliation in the Champions League if there is no experience. Somebody who has the know-how to win games. That is what you need in the Champions League. So, either way, Chelsea have been sanctioned by the Premier League, so they won't have they will be under a transfer ban for 2 years, so they can't do any transfer in those 2 years. They're stuck with the team they have, and yeah, they can't strengthen the club or the squad, so they're stuck like that. So here, the ball possession 55 to Manchester City, 10-man Manchester City, 5 attempts on target, 10 total attempts in the night. So you can tell Manchester City were the better team in the first half, regardless of having a man down. So Arsenal are also currently leading in the first half of their game against Bayer Leverkusen. Let's see who scored. Hey, Eze scored a wonderful goal. Eze scores a wonderful goal. Like, that was absolutely incredible. You can't save that. You cannot, there is no way you can save that. Absolutely incredible. Golazo goal from Eberechi Eze. Like, he scored like it was nothing. That is absolutely incredible. Scored like it was nothing. Absolutely incredible from Eberechi Eze. So Arsenal leading Bayer Leverkusen by a goal to nil. PSG leading Chelsea at Stamford Bridge by 2 goals to nil. Bradley Barcola and Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. Manchester City are currently 1-1, and that is Real Madrid are up on aggregate by 4 goals. So Manchester City scored through Erling Haaland, and also Real Madrid scored through Vinicius Jr. So the main men step up, but Manchester City were the better team regardless of having a man down. So those are some points to note, and that is Arbeloa should be having that conversation in the dressing room. So chances created, 10 big chances created, that is attempts for Manchester City. 10 attempts on goal against Real Madrid. Better than the 7 attempts of Real Madrid. So 55, they had the lion's share of possession, that is Manchester City with 55%, regardless of having a man down. So you can see the tides change in the second half. Manchester City have the likes of Semenyo on the bench, Omar Mamouche. These are big game players who can change the game. Phil Foden, on his day, he can change the game. So those are some players Pep Guardiola can rely on and bring on. So what do you guys think? Do you think Manchester City can survive from this and come back and win this game? Do you think so? Let me know in the comments.